Hello everyone, welcome to the Infant and Toddler Early Development Guidance course. I am teacher Lee Wendy. The initial experience of emotional and social development in toddlers aged 13 to 18 months. They begin to build trust in their primary caregivers, attempt to interact with peers, and even develop a vague awareness of self. Today, we focus on how toddlers at this stage learn to interact with others. The key growth from attachment to initial socialization, and how to use scientific support to help them build a healthy, emotional, and social foundation. This lesson revolves around three core questions. First, what are the milestones of emotional and social development for toddlers aged 13 to 18 months? Second, how can we support the budding of social skills through interaction and the environment? Third, what misconceptions should we be aware of in caregiving? 13 to 18 months is a transitional period for toddlers from focusing only on themselves to beginning to notice others. Their emotional attachments become clearer. Their interest in peers increases. But their social skills are still very basic. This is specifically manifested in three core abilities. First major ability, attachment. I need the familiar you to give me a sense of security. Separation anxiety is evident typically at 13 to 15 months. They develop a strong attachment to their primary caregivers. They may cry, cling, or follow closely when the caregiver leaves. For example, if mom goes to the kitchen, they might crawl after her. They might turn away, or refuse to be held by strangers. This is a sign of healthy emotional bonding. It shows they know who is most capable of protecting me. Stranger anxiety, mostly at 16 to 18 months. They show wariness towards unfamiliar people, such as hiding behind an adult frowning, and need the adult to comfort them before interacting. Second, major ability, budding self-awareness. I know I am different from others. Self-recognition begins to form around 15 to 17 months. Through looking in mirrors or at photos, they begin to realize that's me in the mirror. For example, patting their image in the mirror, or smiling at their own photo. They say mine, for example, my bottle, my teddy bear. This is the beginning of the sense of ownership. Emotional expression becomes richer around 17 to 18 months. Besides crying and laughing, they can express more emotions through facial expressions and actions. For example, stomping feet when angry, clapping hands when happy, or pointing to their belly and saying, hungry. Third, major ability, initial social interaction. I want to play with you, but I don't really know the rules yet. Parallel play is predominant mostly at 13 to 16 months. They like to play alongside peers. For example, two 15-month-olds playing with their own blocks separately, but only 10 centimeters apart. They rarely truly cooperate. For example, they won't build blocks together. Social conflicts begin to emerge around 17 to 18 months. Behaviors like grabbing toys, pushing, etc. start to appear, because they don't yet understand taking turns or sharing. They usually don't apologize proactively after conflicts, and might cry or run away. Emotional and social development is not about teaching manners, but rather through stable emotional responses, warm interactive modeling, and safe social opportunities, allowing the toddler to build trust and a sense of rules. In the process of being loved, learning to love, attempting to interact, there are three core strategies. First, Build a secure attachment. Respond to needs with consistent love. Respond promptly to separation anxiety. When the toddler cries due to separation, first empathize, then explain. Mom is going to the kitchen to cook. I'll be back to play with you in 10 minutes. Leave firmly but gently. Avoid sneaking away. Hug them immediately upon returning, reinforcing the trust that I will return after leaving. Alleviate stranger anxiety. When meeting strangers, first let the toddler observe. For example, this is Auntie, she likes you a lot. Then let the stranger approach slowly. Don't force hugs. The adult can hold the toddler and interact only after the toddler relaxes. Second, guide self and ownership awareness. Respect mine before teaching, sharing. Respect the sense of ownership. When the toddler says, mine, for example, toys, a small blanket, first acknowledge their feelings. This is your bear. It's okay that you don't want to give it to others. Then, guide gentle interaction. Your bear is so cute. Can Xiaoming take a look? Offer choice, don't command. Do not force sharing. Sharing from the perspective of adults is force for a 13 to 18-month-old and can instead cause anxiety. You can start with taking turns. For example, baby plays for 5 minutes first, then little brother plays for 5 minutes. During the process, the adult helps pass the toy, avoiding direct conflict. Third, cultivate initial social skills. Be a social model. Model friendly interaction. When engaging in parallel play with the toddler, for example, building blocks together, initiate verbal interaction. Let's build a bridge together. Physical interaction. Gently touch hands, give high fives. Let them feel that playing with others is more fun. Guide simple social rules. When the toddler grabs a toy, squat down and say calmly, when you grab like that, it might hurt, Xiaoming. Let's gently ask, can I play with it? If they do it, praise immediately. Baby knows how to negotiate. Great job when they perform a friendly act. For example, handing a toy to someone else. Promptly say thank you. Helping them associate good behavior, positive feedback. Next are common misconceptions and precautions. First major, point 3, misconceptions to avoid. First, misconception, forcing sharing. If the toddler clutches a toy and won't give it to others, don't hastily say, why are you so selfish? This will make them feel, my needs are not respected. Correct approach. First, acknowledge their ownership. It's okay that you want to play by yourself. Then guide them to take turns. Little brother would like to play later too. Second, misconception, ignoring separation anxiety. Some adults sneak away when the toddler isn't paying attention. For example, slipping away when going to work. This destroys trust. Correct approach. Say a proper goodbye every time you separate. Mom will be back at 5 p.m. to play with you. And keep the promise. Third, misconception. Criticizing negative emotions. When the toddler cries or pushes because they can't get a toy, don't say, why are you so bad? This will make them suppress their emotions. Correct approach. First, empathize. You didn't get the toy you wanted. You feel sad, right? Then, guide proper expression. You can say, can I play with it? Second major point, caregiving tips. Provide more social opportunities. Take the toddler to the park, parent-child classes for more contact with peers. But keep the duration short initially. Avoid overstimulation or fatigue. At home, invite 1 to 2 familiar children to play. Prepare enough toys to reduce conflict. Pay attention to individual differences. Some toddlers are willing to share with others at 15 months. Others still only engage in parallel play at 18 months. This is all normal. The key is to observe if they are interested in people. For example, watching others play. Willing to approach others. For example, proactively reaching out to be held. Students 13 to 18 months is the sowing season for toddlers' emotional and social development. Through the exploration of attachment, self-interaction, they learn how to build trust with others and express needs. Our support is not about teaching rules, but about responding to attachment with consistent love, guiding ownership and sharing with respect, and teaching friendly interaction through modeling. Remember core abilities: attachment, security, self-awareness, initial social skills. T support, consistent response, plus respecting ownership, plus friendly modeling. T principles: no forcing, no ignoring. Let emotional and social development proceed naturally and warmly. Next time, we will further explore the key points of motor support and development for toddlers aged 19 to 24 months.